All right, it is time this morning for our Chemist Corner. We are getting a very important lesson from Jesse Miller, Teaching Lab Specialist and REACT Program Director at the U of I.
There we go.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, sure. It's my pleasure.
Okay, so as the fall comes, we learn that leaves change color.
That's right.
But we're going to learn today how exactly that happens, right?
That's right, and that's more for the second segment where I specifically go into why leaves change color, but we have to kind of do some groundwork here, right? So conceptually, we have a technique that we use in chemistry called chromatography, and there's different types of chromatography. There's liquid chromatography, there's gas chromatography, paper chromatography, thin layer chromatography. Anyway, you have all these chromatographies. And chromatography, when it started off, literally means separating things by their color.
Okay.
Right, chroma,
sure,
being color. And we can show that pretty simply with ink. Now, these are 3 black pens, okay, that basically look pretty much the same when you write with them. Okay, but it turns out that inks are formulated differently. Different pens have different formulas. And you'll actually see that you can separate the different inks out of the pen by using chromatography. Now, what we do with this, what chromatography is you have a solvent, which dissolves it, and you have your I'm sorry, you have your paper here, okay, which is your medium, okay, and as the solvent moves up this filter paper, it's going to dissolve the ink, and it's going to pull it up. And as it pulls it up, some of the inks, because ink has polar tendency, so characteristics. So one end will be positive, one end is negative. And so the more polar it is, or the less polar it is, it'll move slower or faster up the solvent front. And so it'll end up separating out. So we have the 3 different inks, and we're going to use ethanol as a solvent because water doesn't work very good to dissolve ink.
Got it.
And we put this in, a little bit of ethanol here, and now this is going to take a little bit of time, so I did a little Julia Child thing here. But this solvent's going to move up the paper, and it's going to capture the ink, and because this takes a little bit of time, I already did one.
Okay.
Okay.
Magic of TV.
And we can see, okay, yeah, there we go. I'm going to turn it this way. There we go.
Oh, cool.
You can see that the inks behave quite a bit differently for each of the pens. Yeah. Even though they all look the same when they started off, the one in the middle is obviously not very soluble in ethanol. I'd probably have to use methanol or some other solvent to use on that one. But the one on the screen's what would that be? The screen's right. You can see there's blue, there's yellow, there's even a little bit of pink up here on the top. Woo, there we go.
Which one was that? Which pen? I'm testing you here.
I don't remember. I think it was the Sharpie.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And it has different, but when it's formulated in such a way that it all looks black.
Right.
And this way we can separate out. Now you can imagine that, okay, this is simple, this is ink, but we can actually do this to other compounds. So when we're looking, when they're, you watch Bones or you watch whatever, and they run it through their, their analyzer, the magic box that they always run everything through. These are the kind of things that they're doing, is they're separating the compounds out, and they can say, okay, this had ethanol in it, and this had so much percentage of this compound, so much percentage of. It's not as easy as they make it look on the TV.
It's not.
Right.
Come on, Jesse.
There's no real magic box, but those kind of analysis is what we do in order to figure out what the composition of something is.
Okay.
There's also mass spec and some other techniques, but this chromatography technique has been around for a while, and it's a lot more sophisticated, obviously, than this. Okay,
and you're going to be back in our 7 o'clock hour telling us a little bit more about how leaves change color and why they do so. To see that, though, switch on over to WCIX. Here's a look at what it is for you.